Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. I'm going to make this a really quick one this week because I got a new microphone. I plugged it in. I was super excited to use it, and I just recorded 17 minutes of myself going, and that's really annoying to me that I have to do this over again. So, because I'm a one-take wonder, guys, I'm not paid for this. I'm just, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to do it again, but now I'm doing it again. So, let's talk charts. Whoop. All right. Let's see here. Let's start off by looking at ES or SPX weekly. And last week, what I did on the fly was I took this bull candle, bull flag, oh my goodness, this bull flag, and I figured out the measure move, which if you remember was just right under the previous high. So it will have gotten to the end of its measured move there, but it's absolutely possible that it continues higher. If it comes back down here, then that doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't go higher later. This is in fact a point of resistance, but I'm not getting a lot of feel off of the weekly one way or the other what's going to happen, other than that measured move that we have, right just a hair underneath this previous high. And we're still underneath resistance here, but I'm just not getting any clues. So let's look at the daily. Right, so same thing as before. We're consolidating here right under this very important 3,400 level, and we'll have to see what happens. Today, this is actually a pretty easy week to trade if you're not already in one. You know why? Because, I mean, there is, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, there is usually resistance at a previous high. So if I didn't already have a position, what I would do is I would take a short scalp at if it reaches this previous high. I'd take it somewhere right around there, and then I would set the stop for somewhere above and then stop out. Or what could happen is if it got back above, and then if it went back below, I would take the short again on the second time below, because that would be a false breakout, and that would be very bearish. So from the bear side, that's what I'd do. From the bull side, if I didn't already have a trade going on and I wanted to trade the bull side of this, I would wait until it gets above this 3,400 level. I would take that and I would just set a break-even stop, or just right below, and then that's easy peasy, right? So whether or not you are bear inclined or bull inclined, this week, unless it's just sideways annoying chop, which it very well might be, but this week is pretty easy to have a trade plan in place no matter which way you're feeling. So that's what I would do if I didn't already have a position. Now let's talk about my position. The Cordova short, oh please, I just put that in there because I'm always making fun of Eric, so this time I can make fun of myself if I screw up here. But as you know, I took this short last week, or the week before actually, and it did pretty well for me. And so I ended up taking some profit right around here, and it actually really did do well in touching this redemption channel. But I still have a core position. I call it core position. It's actually a full position, and that's at the 11,250 level. So I'm just sort of holding it. Now my plan here is that if it gets much above, I am prepared for it to get a little bit above this past all-time high, because it still did happen outside of US hours. So I'm mentally prepared in case that happens. But if it gets I don't even know, I'll be watching the price action on smaller time frames. If it gets to be too much above, or if I don't think it's going to come back down from, if it goes higher here, then I will probably stop out of everything except for maybe a third of the position, because I still have a high degree of confidence, and then add the next two when we get to the next, whether it's on this chart or the hourly, when we get to the next resistance, I'll add it back. Now, if that doesn't happen, then I'll be looking for it to hit this ambulance line, and then this gift line. And so I'll be taking some off probably before then, just to get my little profit in. And y'all know how I do, because I like to win as much as possible. I have a ridiculous win rate because I take partial profit all the time, and that makes me feel like a winner, because then I'm like, oh, now I don't care because I've already won for the trade. Like, that's why I took off. You know, we talked about the hourly chart last week, and that's why I took off some overnight. I'm like, okay, it's already a winner. I don't have to worry about it. So anyway, that's my plan for NQ. And you can see here this bull flag here, another potential bull flag here. So I will definitely be looking, if it does come back down here, I will definitely be looking at the price action here to see what I'm going to do. But either way, I'm very happy with it. Now let's talk about gold. So you've been used to looking at my naked charts every week. Some of you are going to be like, what are those pink lines? I don't know. Anyway, what I did was I went back. I'm going to show you how my pink lines are drawn. I went back and I looked at this previous from into 2008, this previous huge bull run for gold. I was studying it a little bit, and I was looking at it, and I figured out a nice line here that I could apply. And you know, what I like to do is I like to reuse slopes, both in RSI and in price. If I find a good slope, I'm gonna use it, because I feel like I've trained the algos already. So why would I give up you know, so much effort that they've put into it? And so anyway, I just kind of started, okay, well, look at this low. Does this tell me anything? And I like this a lot because, you know, it's a nice, this area was a nice place to have taken the short before on any close below it. It would have screwed me up here, but I would have done really well here. So anyway, I drew in some of these lines, and it turns out that from catching this low, I also caught the high here. Oh, interesting. And then from catching this one, I caught exactly where we ended this week. So we ended this week, now this is a weekly chart, so there's not a lot going on here, but we end this week exactly on the support line here. Exactly. And so let me just zoom in. I have next week's pivot here. Well, it looks like it's a little bit above, so I don't want to say it's exactly. But anyway, next week I will, you know, maybe this is a 1 week correction. It's possible. We'll have to see. But I've marked off this 1954-ish area, and that will be the important place for gold to close next week. From an RSI perspective, it does look like we had a false breakout here, but that could be okay. We could be okay there, because this could also have been, if you look at it, could have been a bull flag. So, and in fact, you can see, yeah, I mean, it could even, I mean, we'll have to see. Let's see. No, it's a lower high. Now, that's not bullish, guys. Not bullish short term. So the best thing that could happen for gold bulls, in my opinion, is either it zips back up, yay, yay, or it takes some time and just consolidates in this zone. And as long as it closes above this level, that'll be great. It hasn't even, though, guys, it hasn't even retouched the 9. It's still very, very bullish overall. So I maintain extreme bullishness at this time until it is below the 20, closes below the 20, and then I'll be like, uh-oh, out, get out, get out, get out. But right now it looks great. If you've got a position, you know, running, that's fine. And I will look, however, to buy silver. Let's look at silver. So I felt bad about this because I do have a 3-day rule in general. When something really tanks, I try to wait until the 3rd day to buy it. Just in general, you know, but earnings or something like gold. And with silver, though, it really just had a 2-day correction, and then it was whoop the 2nd day, then back down, though. And if you look at the weekly, I mean, it has a lower high and a lower low, so I wouldn't necessarily call that bearish yet, but just some consolidation. So my plan here is to wait until, you can see it's nowhere near the weekly 9MA. So my plan here is to wait until it gets somewhere with some support and to buy it, or maybe it just gets below this previous thing and I get a little FOMO and I buy a little bit back. Or if it gets above this 29.76, I might buy it then, set a break-even stop, and then or I don't know, depending on smaller time frames. And then as long as it closes the week above that, that'll be very bullish. So I might even wait until the end of the week, and if it's above this 29.76, buy it, and if it's not, then wait and try to catch it a little bit lower. And so that is my plan with silver, and we'll have to see what happens here. I'm not getting a lot of clues on RSI, at least on the weekly level. I'm going to drill down and look at smaller time frames on my own time, and I will share that with you. But if you look at volume here being so high on this this correction, I don't know what that means. Maybe you can pipe in. Do you think they're buying it here? Do you think they were selling it? What do you think happens? I think, generally speaking, that when it's high volume, a lot more than usual, and the candle is pretty much the same size as what we've seen, it's generally an inflection point, at least short term. Sometimes the top of flags have a lot of volume. So maybe this will be some annoying consolidation for the bulls. It'll get the bears all revved up, and then we can use bear power to go higher. We'll have to see. But I maintain a 1/3 position, and I don't have FOMO yet at this time. If it gets above 29.76, I will have FOMO, and I will be like, gah, 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 gah. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so now let's look at oil. Oil has been doing a whole lot of nothing. You could be both long and short and just wait around and make money. That's what it looks like to me. The good news for bulls here is that this 42.16, which is previous resistance, we closed right below it. That's been worn away. We kind of poked at it. We poked at it a little more and then poke at it again. So I'm going to say the next time the week closes above 42.16, and I've said this before though, very, very bullish, because it will have gotten rid of that previous resistance, or it'll, not rid of it, but it'll have, like, you know, chipped away at it. Like when you used to ask your parents, can I do this? Can I do this? No, 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 no. And then finally they get tired of you asking, and they're like, all right, that's what this is. I mean, can I break out? Can I break out? Can I break out? And then, of course, hopefully you don't get grounded, because any kind of close below this supportive, actually this is the 9, I think. Let me just confirm. Yeah, any kind of close below the supportive 9 MA is going to be pretty bearish, at least for a scalp. It may not go all the way down here to this 29.36 level, which would be my desired buy zone. But if it gets somewhere close to this, what do you know, 20 MA, I'll definitely look at it. So either I'll buy it if it closes this week above, or I will wait for it to dip. And I don't have any interest in shorting it at this time. I've got other things to do. But if it shows a lot of weakness, I might scalp intraday. But I mean, look at this. Look at this price range. I got better things to do with my time. Okay, now let's look at Natty. So as you know, I had closed 2/3 of my silver, 2/3 of my coffee, and 2/3 of my Natty. And this is the thing I was the most sad about. Of course I closed a Natty, and then it like zooms to the moon. And I should have known. Let me just get rid of this P. It's really bothering me. Okay. I should have known that this was going to happen, because I saw my friend Nathan the Lizard the night before this happened. Actually, it was probably this candle when it first started. I was like, gah, gah, gah. And Nathan just comes and he sits on my windowsill, and he's just like, nope, nope. And he just stares at me. We're just like looking at each other, you know. Nope, nope. Anyway, every time I see him, it seems like we get a huge breakout candle. So, well, let's see where we're going with that. This huge key here, oops, Control Z. Okay, this key line, that's the huge key, is 2.489. So I will watch. If Natty hits this 2.489, I'm going to be a little bit tempted to take some more off. And if it doesn't, then I'll be pleased. I'm hoping that it comes back down here and hits about this, let's see, where is this, 1.9, depending on where it hits this dotted pink line. I would love for it to get somewhere around the 1.9, high 9s, 1.99, 1.97, because I will buy the crap out of it, especially if it just back tests this previous key. That would be amazing. That was 1.985. But around the 1.99 area, I'll be looking to scale in for sure. From another bull perspective, RSI, well, is this bullish? Well, so far, No. So far, this might be a little bit of actual divergence now that I'm looking at it. So if it does head back down here, it's possible, though, that it turns itself into an inverse head and shoulders, an RSI. We'll have to watch that pretty carefully because there is a lot of momentum here, but y'all know how Natty is. Y'all know how it is. So we'll have to see what happens there. If it keeps going, then it'll negate this divergence and it'll be super bullish because it will be in this turbo zone until it gets to all the way to 80-ish, depending on where it hits. Like there's no resistance there. So we'll have to see. I don't, I wish I had better information, but Natty's difficult. So I'm going to wait to either sell some higher or buy some lower. Yeah. Let's talk about coffee. This was actually my best chart from last week. Well, I guess NQ is pretty good too. But anyway, I actually, this line here that y'all are probably like, what's this line? I'm like, what is this? What's happening here? This happened to be almost the bottom tick of Joe during the week. So I rebought, not my entire position, but I had sold everything but a third. I bought one of the thirds back. So now I have 2/3 of a position. And I bought one of the thirds back at this price marker that I think last week was $33.99 or so. And I think the low last week was, where do I look? 33.91. So within 8 cents, that's pretty good. Yay, good lines. And these are the pivots I'm watching for next week. Specifically 34.6. It could absolutely get below this for sure. I am not going to say that it can't, and if it does, I will probably stop out of some of the additional third I bought because I want to maintain profit, and then I'll try to buy it lower, either if it hits this orange MA, which is the 20, or a little bit below that. But it's also possible that I just hold it. It depends on how I'm feeling, honestly, and it depends on how my other investments are doing. But I am very, very bullish coffee longer term, and so I'm looking to add and buy on dips. That's all. And this could potentially be a really, really good investment to have for sure. As far as RSI goes, it's possible that we come down and we test this support, and if we do, then I'm gonna buy the crap out of it. I'll buy the other 2/3 there if we do, and I stop out here, and that's it. So let me make myself big. Hopefully the audio got recorded. Oh my goodness, guys, I was like, that was a really good one I filmed before too, and I was just like, anyway, all right. Thank you again for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button on YouTube. I really appreciate it, and I will see you around the interwebs. Okay.